think it's Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday.
Yep.
And unless I screw it up like I did yesterday, you'll be seeing this later today. And I'm over at with Steve Bauer and Brenda Stowe. And it's great to be here. Thanks for letting me come over. How you guys doing?
Oh, you're welcome.
We're doing well. Yep, we're hanging in there. Certainly a challenging time in life, but my business was considered an essential business. So
And what is your business?
I'm a veterinarian.
Okay, and where are you working?
I'm working, well, I used to own 2 veterinary hospitals in Laconia and in Gilford. And when we sold those to a corporation, I started working per diem. So just sort of as needed and as I wanted. But it's been so busy for a bunch of reasons, I think. Probably because it was an essential business, so there's a lot of emergencies. Pets still have to come to the hospital. And honestly, I think with people being at home with COVID, people are spending a lot of time with their pets and noticing little lumps and bumps and feeding them people food and things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. So I'm working at 3 different veterinary hospitals. I work 1 day a week at Lakes Region Veterinary Hospital on Union Ave in Laconia. I work another day a week at Laconia Animal Hospital, which is actually in Gilford. And then I work 1 to 2 days a week at Meadow Pond Animal Hospital in Moultonborough, which is where I'm headed today.
Ah. And it was very gracious of you to let me come over early like this.
Works out fine.
And how you doing, Steve?
I'm trying to hang in there. Things, we went away in March skiing and to Jackson Hole. They shut down the ski area. When we were there, we came back, and I'm an executive director for a trade association for mortgage bankers and brokers, and everything that we had planned for the rest of the spring, we didn't do. We postponed till August. Now we're looking at August, and we're saying maybe we need to postpone to the fall or just not do them. So we're trying to figure out, sort of the virtual conference, virtual education, and how we can do that within a small association.
And I know you said you're working at home right now. Do you sometimes have to go to an office?
Very rarely. Last 2 years, instead of driving to Concord every day, they allowed me to work from home. Now that we have the house finished, and I have a space for an office. So pretty much I work from home, and usually 2-3 weeks out of the month, then I'm going to meetings in Manchester, Bedford, Concord. We do a lot with legislative issues as they pop up.
You mentioned your house that you built. I think you two kind of designed this.
We did, yeah, actually.
Over 237
Docking Shore.
Docking Shore, one of my favorite roads to run and ride on.
Yeah, crazy. We had a house here that was a summer house that was.
No, this is not a summer house.
Yeah, there was actually a really cute Victorian style house that was probably built in the late 1800s that was here that wasn't winterized at all. And when we decided to sell Stony Brook Farm, the apple orchard, and move full-time to the lake, we looked into kind of retrofitting the old house that was here and see if we could make it year-round. But the glass windows were the old kind of Ripley glass, and everyone said, it's going to cost a fortune to really try to restore this house and make it year-round. So sadly, we tore it down. But it was interesting, when they tore it down and we were kind of watching, it turned out it was balanced on like 3 giant boulders. It didn't have any sort of dug foundation or so probably better. So we found a design that we liked, and actually Peter Stewart from the church was our architect, and did a fabulous job in helping us try to use the design that we had and make it so that it would work for our family. And then in designing it, we were thinking ahead of, I have 3 children, Steve has 2 children. As they get older, wouldn't it be nice if they have their own children and they want to come and visit, if they had their own space? So we designed a 2-bedroom apartment above our garage that's attached to the house, so that the kids, could really have their own space as they get older. So hopefully that'll happen. Who knows? Our kids are all getting to the age where you wonder, are they ever going to get married or have children? Who knows?
Well, Hannah, is she still in school?
Hannah is just finishing up her master's at Tufts Medical School, and actually just took the MCAS to apply to med school and did surprisingly well. So she's really happy about that. my oldest Alex works for HUD, Housing and Urban Development, in the government. So he lives in Washington, D.C. And my youngest Philip just graduated from Bentley, which was kind of a sad time as a senior because no senior weeks, no graduation. Bentley originally rescheduled graduation for mid-August, and just last week they announced that that wasn't going to happen. He was a finance economics major, and it's kind of a tough time to get into that business right now. A lot of companies have freezes on hiring. So he is working at part of our family business at the Whining Butcher in Meredith.
Yeah, and then his friend Carter Mercer's working with him
Carter
too.
Mercer, yeah. Philip
Like it or not,
recruited
that's
Carter.
what they are.
Yep. Philip said, I need a friend to work with, so Carter's over there too. So,
Awesome.
so luckily we get to eat a lot of great tips and good food that's made there that they bring home
Yeah, they
for
do
us.
good work over there. And Steve, what about your girls?
Two. Rachel lives in Laconia, and she just moved to a new apartment, and she's been on the front line working at Rite Aid Pharmacy and doing well. And the other one's out in Colorado, and she's last year is now engaged and planning a wedding for next July.
Oh.
And they just bought a house outside of Denver.
So will the wedding be right there in Colorado?
Yeah, A Basin ski area, and
So if they want to fly a clergy out there, I'd be happy to do
you'd
that.
like to come
There
out.
you go.
Okay.
Arapahoe Basin is a pretty spot.
It's the wedding venue is at Mid Mountain, so you have to take a chairlift to make it to get up to where the wedding venue is, and then
And I remember your wedding, beautiful wedding at your dad and your brother's little compound.
Yeah.
Hot day. How many years ago was that?
3.
3 years ago.
Yep, we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary.
Wow.
So it was very nice that you officiated for us. And the day started off, I don't know if you remember, but it was pretty hairy. I was getting ready, and a huge little microburst came, and it was pouring rain, and the wind was blowing, and branches were flying, and it was an outdoor wedding. And I was thinking, this is going to be a disaster. How are we going to make this work with pouring rain? And it was humid, and although we had the plastic sides on the tent, it would have been unbearable. And then probably an hour before it was all going to happen, it cleared, the sun came out, and we got beautiful pictures with rainbows in the background. So it was very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet?
Want to tell the story?
church actually. In the elementary school, in the back row.
Huh, during the construction then.
Yeah,
Yep.
during the construction.
During construction. Steve and I had both recently been divorced and were going to church independently. And the weird thing was, we lived 2 miles down the street from each other. His youngest daughter, Rachel, and my oldest son, Alex, had been in 1st and 2nd grade together. I meet a lot of people at the veterinary hospital through their pets and feel like I had known everyone in Gilford. And I came into church a little bit late that day and kind of scurried in, and there was a spot in the back pew, and so I kind of moved over, and I looked, and I was like, I wonder who that is. And I had never seen him before, never met him before, and so after church we just started talking a little bit, and then said goodbye, went our merry ways. And Steve was in the process of hiking the 44,000 footers in New Hampshire. So he was dedicated to that for the summer, and it wasn't until the grand opening of the new church, which we're trying to remember the date, July.
Yeah, like July 18th or something like that.
Yeah, it's like mid-July, and we try to remember when that was. We both came to the grand opening, and we're kind of looking around the church, and each of us said, oh,
Kind of looking for each other.
yeah, I remember him, I remember her.
So I just finished that the day before, and
The hike.
the hiking, yeah, the 48. So I just finished it.
Oh, 48, sorry.
48. I just finished those on Saturday, and so church was the next morning, and we're trying to, I think, looking for each other, have another conversation.
Awesome. Well, what a
And then
great
we made
story.
a plan to go for a hike.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we went for a hike together, and that was the beginning.
So what do you do to keep kind of sane and balanced during this tough time?
It's tough.
Well, we're fortunate that we live on the lake, so
And you also, I think, own an island.
we do. So we own a little island out in the other side of the lake in Tuftonboro in an area called the Hole in the Wall. And so it's between Cow Island and Little Bear Island.
Oh, I
And-
did a baptism on Cow Island.
Did you
couple
really?
Couple times, yes.
Oh, neat. Yeah, so Devon's Island is a little private island in the middle there. And so actually, we just spent the week, we try to go out and celebrate our anniversary. I mean, full 3 times.
Right.
So we were out there last week on vacation, and we rented out during the summer. So typically, well, at least for the past few years, we've rented it on a weekly basis to several different people. And last year, one of the people that rented, a man from Massachusetts, really loved it. And so he's renting it for a month this year. So we had to pack up all our stuff, move out, and he's out there for the month. So it's a little bit bittersweet. It's nice that it helps pay the taxes and the upkeep, but we are so used to being able to get in our boat and just take a ride, and that's our destination, and we can't really do that for the next month, but that's all right. We have somewhere else to be.
First world
Right.
problems are really tough. Huh?
Exactly. That's when we start to complain. We think we have absolutely nothing to complain about and a lot to be grateful for. So
Yeah, the lake is really busy at this end of the lake, and when you go over to that side, it's quiet, much nicer.
yeah, lots of loons that we hear. We have pileated woodpeckers that live on the island, so it's kind of neat to see them. And there's always minks that are climbing up on the dock and then jumping back in. And
Wow.
the week that we're out there, Steve, I think, always has a goal. Like, I'm happy to get in my kayak and just kayak around or hike a mountain. And Steve's like, we got to do the 48 4,000 footers, and we've got to do them in the winter. And so we got in our kayak, and he said, I think we should kayak around all the islands on the lake. So that's Steve's new goal. I'm just tagging along, I think.
So how many islands are there?
No one really knows. The legend says 365 for one for every day of the year. But I think most reading that you do says like 320 or
No, I'm thinking 275.
yeah, I don't know. And it depends on what the definition of an island is, you know. Does it have to have a house? Does it just have to have vegetation? But anyway, for the week, we loaded up our 2 kayaks in the boat, and we went off to different destinations where there are several islands through anchor, and then kayaked around a bunch of islands, which was really neat.
How many?
I'm not sure.
Probably did a dozen.
But it's nice to get up and close to other people's property, see what they do to it, and then other things that haven't been touched for a while, and you kind of wonder who owns it, and you know, would they be interested in selling it for development? Or yeah.
Islands are really cool on the lake. They're totally different than the mainland. I mean, there's a lot of old fishing homes that families have probably been there for a couple hundred years, and the people that are out there, they just set down for the summer, and I don't think they really move. They, you know, run off to get groceries every now and then, but they're just settled in, and that's what we enjoy about being out there. You can't decide that you need to go to Lowe's and start a new project. I love to garden and plant, and so I'm always running off and buying new plants out there. I'm like, oh well.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I thank you for letting me come over, spend some time with you, and I just hope you have great days. And I look forward to seeing you back at 19 Potter Hill Road one of these days.
Thank you. Yeah,
you.
I know. We
Yeah,
look forward
we
to it
miss
too.
it.
We miss singing and listening to the beautiful choir and seeing all the friends. But one day it will be there.
Yes. Well, take care.
Thanks,
so
you
much.
too, Michael. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Got me on my feet.